Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com, discount code TDL for 25% off. All right, guys. I mean, if we know summer's over, guys. We go ahead and support pandasubs.com. Dude, Mir, he's a Raiders fan. Support that for sure, guys. All right. We're here doing more film. We got more film this week, guys. Our second week of new film. Definitely exciting until you get to the fourth quarter, if you want to keep it real with everybody. Definitely exciting stuff until then. And that is because, like, man, it becomes a struggle. But I did like watching the first team out there. I know the first team defense is out there for a little bit too, as well. How was that watch for you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was like a solid watch. I mean, I think the problem is that was what we talked about on Saturdays. Like, I think the defensive line played pretty well. I think like Tyree Wilson was a guy who stood out even more than I expected. There were a couple more reps that kind of I didn't recognize from the broadcast where he just did a really good job setting the edge and didn't make a ton of plays, but like he just showed up or didn't make a ton of stat sheet plays, I should say, or it's like show up on the stat sheet much, but he did make quite a few plays that like just kind of like were the difference in the game. You know, the pressure. The pressure he had when he was rushing on the inside was a pretty damn dominant rep, and I think should get a lot of people excited, especially if you've been pounding the table for him to move inside. That was a pretty damn impressive showing by Tyree overall. And then I just think that the problem is the secondary right now, and I don't know what the answer is. Like if you look at it, of the four guys who you're kind of considering in the starting spot being Eric Stokes, Darian Porter, and Caillou Blue Kelly just really didn't play that well. Cameron Richardson was fine. He was just playing a ton of cover 3 where he kind of got worked a little bit in the game, which again, that might just be a preseason thing where they're being super vanilla. I don't know. Maybe they took George Kittle to calm us to hearts and they were like, you know what, we will stay vanilla this week. But that was kind of like the common theme. Like it did feel like the 49ers almost like game plan for this game, because it was like every time the Raiders would play like these soft zone coverage, they were just getting the ball out super quick and like attacking exactly what they needed to do and like had their like cover 3 beaters like on lock basically pretty much for the entire game. Like we'll even see a few of these, but yeah, still kind of waiting for like one linebacker to really like kind of show up and surprise me. I mean, I know Jamal Adams had a good game last week. This week he was a little bit more just kind of blended in, didn't really stand out much.
Okay.
I mean, Eichenberg's a guy that I'm going to be going over today. Eichenberg actually played better than I thought he did just on the broadcast, and he actually was. I think PFF had him as like their 4th highest graded defender for the Raiders in the game.
77.6.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I'd say that high. There were a few reps where I thought he could have played a little bit better, but for the most part, like he did pretty well, and he actually had a few really nice plays in coverage, and I think he showed some growth. Did have a couple reps where 2024 telling me was popping up. We'll see 1 or 2 of those. But I think he's gotten really better at taking on blocks. And he had a few dominant ones that I was really, really excited about. And I think you got to see a little bit more of the guy that we saw coming out of Ohio State that got me really excited when they took him in the 5th round. And then on top of it, the D lineman I'm going over today is JJ Pegues, who I talked about last week, showing more flashes. Had a few negative reps last week, too, that I think kind of went by the wayside that people didn't pay attention to quite as much. But this week, for sure, like he might have had 1 or 2 like questionable ones. I wouldn't even call them bad ones, but he was pretty dominant against the run. Had 4 pressures, which is not something you typically expect from him. And that's something I think I was like a little bit concerned about him coming out of Ole Miss, is getting that pressure from the interior. And he had a pretty well-rounded game overall. And I think if you look at the depth chart and the who's going to play what role, like I think he might start carving out that job at the shade nose, especially with Leaky Fotu. I don't think he's practiced in 2 weeks, and I don't know if he's even making the team at this stage. So
yeah,
would not surprise me if Pegues is climbing up the depth chart and and ends up becoming like even a starter early on in the season, because he's really right now he's their best option at nose if they want to go with a true nose and have that true John Jenkins replacement that they had in the last 2 years in Pat Graham's defense.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, Pegues, he definitely looked like he had some positive plays. I saw some of the clips you posted. I didn't get to the defense yet. I respected you this week, Matt. So
appreciate it.
I stuck to offense this week. I'll get there on Tuesday for the radio show, but I made sure to let you get your clips off first before I started putting those out this week. But I did see a couple of those clips you posted. I did see Tyree. Before I get to offense, though, I did want to ask you. Like, I felt like when they're playing vanilla, though, I feel like they had chances to like jump routes and they didn't. Am I crazy, or did you feel that way when you're watching?
Honestly, not that much. There was a lot of like if they had played it more aggressively, like from the jump, I think maybe you'd like have a stronger argument.
Mm-hmm.
But they were doing a lot of just bail technique. Like we'll see one clip with I think it was JT Woods where like on the broadcast it looked like JT Woods got beat on like a short route when in
Yeah.
reality he was just as soon as the ball was snapped he was flying out of there. I don't know if that
Mm.
he's necessarily coached to do that or whatnot, but yeah, there was a lot of snaps where they were just basically playing to keep everything in front of them, which isn't too like crazy for what they've done in the past, but it was a lot of like let's just play super soft, and they were getting beat on a lot of digs too, which was really more on the linebackers and stuff. Like they were playing just very like very vanilla, very soft zone coverage throughout the entire game, and the Niners just picked them apart. Just in that short and quick passing game. Like it was getting frustrating watching Pegues because he had a few nice pass rush reps, but as soon as he won, the ball was out. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, I wonder with that because I mean, it kind of goes into offense. It feels like they're like practicing during these games. Like I feel like some of these, like some of the Thornton Jr. throws I'm gonna go over. I'm like, I'm like, will Gino really throw there during the game, or is it like they're practicing? It felt like they're like this week was soft zone week because I swear they played a lot too high last week.
Yeah, they
The
did.
Seahawks, right?
Yeah, they
And
played a
like
lot more.
yeah, and this week was like maybe because he's playing against Shanahan, and Shanahan basically got him out of cover three. I mean, he's the reason. Shanahan's basically the reason why he can't do cover three anymore. But let's keep it real. That whole West Coast offense, that just chops them up. That chops up the cover three sometimes. But when you have them kind of just like out there practicing, which it felt like this week, like because this week was the power week for the run game. This was the power week. Uh, Last week was inside zone week, so maybe third game is outside zone week, and then we're getting like a full game of reps. That's what it feels like because it was like all power this week. I was like, no, that's a power run. That's a trap. Oh, that's a trap run. It was like that. So it was a lot of long trap this week. And then for the Raiders, it was all soft zone cover three this week. So it felt like, okay, we're doing practice here, which is what the preseason really is for. If you want to keep it real, right? If they want to go into the game playing soft zone, like this is how we're going to do it. How these guys look in it in these certain areas, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. I think a little bit you see a little bit of that defensively too. Like you said, a lot of too high last week, and then this week they pretty much stayed in cover three almost the entire game with a couple too high concepts mixed in every now and again. But yeah, it does feel like they're just kind of feeling it all out in the preseason right now, and that rather than like unloading the clip and kind of like sticking to the fundamentals, sticking to the basics, which I guess you kind of come to expect. But
Yeah.
yeah, at the same time, it does make it frustrating a little bit watching it every now and again. So, but kind of
Yeah.
come to expect that with the preseason.
Yeah. Because, but I learned this week. I mean, they definitely need to run power with Ashton Jeanty. I've been saying that, and they went all power this week. Would you look at that? 4.7 yards per carry, where he could just like get the ball and just run downhill. I think that's the best for him as a runner. And then like the week before, we saw him struggle a little bit, doing a lot of more zone, right? Inside zone. I really didn't do too much outside zone, but it was mostly inside zone last week. And it wasn't him struggling as much, but I think it was more the line just getting where they need to be set. But once these guys were just blocking people in front of him, they looked pretty good this week. Yeah, so I really liked how Ashton Jeanty looked. Of course, he's just physical player. Of course, I mean that's just what he is, right? I mean it shows on film. I think like one play will kind of show how fast he is, and then like the other plays kind of shows where I was talking about where he paces his speed. So like there's run where he like tried to run somebody over, but you could see him just go hit full speed there, where it looks like he might hit that 4.4 speed, right? And then like other times it doesn't look that way, and people are like, oh, he looks slow, but I think he's more of just a patient pace with his running. So, and one of my favorite runs is one of the runs he got 3 yards on because it shows off his vision. Is just special because like he had to see this. They're running a long trap, and the linebacker Nick Martin he recognized it right away. But Jeanty, instead of hitting the hole, he saw Nick Martin move with him, So he just took it outside because he knew Nick Martin was going to be there. So he thought he could maybe get a better angle. I kind of show it when I do the film, but
Nice.
I thought he looked really really good there. I thought Donte Thornton. He's got to work on his release, right? I mean, he has one good release, but he's not getting outside like he usually does. I thought the offensive line played really well overall. So DJ Glaze, I thought DJ Glaze got beat a couple times, but everybody else was pretty lights out until you got to like Caleb Rogers played awful. Like, oh, you're great, Caleb Rogers, but then we talked about play strength. He has some dude just bull rushing the hell out of him this week. But I thought Charles Grant played better this week than he did the previous week. And shout out to Dalton Wagner for his 97 run blocking grade and 2 pass blocking grade.
I saw that. That was the wildest. That was the wildest split I've seen in a while.
He blocked his ass off in the run game. I'm not gonna lie. He blocked his ass off in the run game. He was moving guys like 6 yards up down the field. But
yeah,
that two in the passing that showed up too. That showed up too for Dalton. So yeah, but like Lobby didn't really get to play that much. I mean, Zamir White and Raheem Moser and Sincere McCormick played deep into the third quarter. Zamir White is out there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So it's all over the place a little bit.
It looks like a lot of the guys that they were like fighting for like positioning on the depth chart, so not necessarily the roster bubble. They got most of the run this week. Like Chris Smith was he took like I think the most like 37 snaps and something like that. Like there were a lot of guys that like came in the second quarter, Pegues being one of them, came in the second quarter and then ended up playing like the rest of the game or the majority of it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it felt like this week was like all right, this is the depth chart week, and then next week's probably going to be the bubble guys and all those dudes. So it was an interesting split because like Greedy Vance only played like 9 plays. I mean, he had a rough one, 9 plays, 5 reps in coverage, and drew a DPI. So yeah. But yeah, like that was it was interesting to see how they broke it down. Like it was like we're gonna figure out who's gonna be on the 2 deep or the second string this week.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to work it out, which I think is the best way to approach preseason instead of trying to go out there and actually win games. Like, who cares? Like, why are we trying to win here? Let's see what we look like in soft cover 3 this week.
Yeah, who can run cover 3?
So who's our best cover 3 corner this week? Let's find out. All right, man. Let's get into some defense first.
Sounds good. We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Start off with a few plays from Pegues, specifically against the run. Like this first one, he just abused. I don't know who these centers were. I think this was 60. I think it's both of them. We'll see a couple reps. But he pretty much abused these 2 dudes from the Niners at the point of attack. Like you'll see a little lead zone here. And I'm pretty sure they're having him 2 gap on this one, which is interesting because if you look at this pre-snap to nerd out a little bit, like the Raiders actually have them out gapped. I don't know why Mac Jones didn't check out of this, but it looks like to me like he's a little bit shaded on the nose. Like you'll see like gets the square at the point of attack, great pad level, and then I mean you can see the center's arm right here. That's a pretty good sign that Pegues has his hands inside, and then just kind of locks him out. And the reason why I think he's 2 gapping is like you notice like he starts to peak and favor the strong side A gap, but he's not all the way in it. And then like you'll see once Wilson here starts to cut it into this weak side A gap, then he just crosses face and does a pretty good job of getting involved, getting his hand in there to get involved in the tackle with the center still hanging on to his body. So again, like you'll see this like fast forward to here. I mean, look like not getting a great rep here. I don't know who that is. Is that Tonka? Yeah, this Tonka was a rough one against the run, buddy. But anyway, like you can see like where everyone else is at, and then he's just resetting the line of scrimmage. I mean, we got a good rep here, but I think it might be Carter. But anyway, yeah. So again, this is part of the reason why I think he can be a good nose tackle on that shade nose. Now, this is one of my concerns with Pegues. Is like you'll see him this time he's on. There's basically the same play call from the Niners, just not a lead zone, just a regular inside zone to the weak side. And like he's strong and he does a decent job of closing the gap with the man, right? Like he's going to take on this combo block and he does a nice little hump move here against the tackle to seal off this B gap that B gap. Yeah. The one thing that worries me is it's like you've noticed it on this one too. Like he plays that way to like he like does it intentionally. You know what I mean? It's not like an accident.
Yeah.
He's trying to recover. Like he is willing to give up that positioning to close the gap with the man. And I just worry a little bit like when he's facing better competition that he's not going to get away with that. And then we'll get a situation where like instead of this guy being off balance, they create a little backside cutback lane. But for this rep specifically, like he does a good job of closing the gap. And then on top of it, what I like too is like this little squeeze here. Like you'll see him start to shuffle down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And he is now in a position where on this rep specifically, where even if Andre Carter isn't there, who had a pretty good game too, to beat this tight end across the tight end's face. If Carter isn't there, Pegues is in a great spot to be able to make that tackle anyway.
Yeah.
This is risky to me. It's kind of what I'm getting at. This is what I'm talking about where I'm like, this isn't like a perfect rep, but he gets away with it and he's able to win because he's so damn strong.
Exactly. Basically, you're saying if that like guy is probably a better player and more athletic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Like that's like if this was a starting right tackle, I would be a little bit worried about if he can do it. Now, if he can get away with it, he can get away with it, and that's part of his game. But something to kind of keep an eye on. This is the next one I was talking about against the zone run here, and then going up against the center. Yeah, this is a different center because that last one was 61. This one's 63.
Yeah,
and you just see the same thing.
Good Lord! All right, okay.
Perfect strength at the point of attack. I mean, perfect pad level. Maybe like to see a little bit wider base, but I'm not going to critique them too much when you're this dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And again, same kind of thing. Like O-line is still hanging on to him, gets his arm involved, and ends up making the tackle. Get involved in the tackle. So again, you can see the power at the point of attack for him to win as a pass rusher or as a run defender.
Serious power right there, man. It's crazy.
For sure. Can see a few reps of him as a pass rusher. Now, this one, not the greatest spin move in the world. He's a 320-pound dude, so I'm not expecting this to be a big part of his repertoire.
Uh-huh.
But what I like too is like he starts to feel the center lean this way, and then just kind of spins back inside and ends up getting a win. Ball's just out. So probably one of his least impressive pass rush reps of the day.
He said he had 4 pressures, right? So I was looking at it. He had 4 pressures. Okay, all right, all right, Pegues. They say they got me. His performance got me saying his name right.
There you go. he earned it at least.
He earned it.
This next one going to be a little play action pass from the Niners. And apologies, I normally show the end zone. NFL Pro was failing me over the weekend, so I don't have the end zone view.
Yeah.
But what I like about this one is more than anything just the read he has. Like obviously you're going to get a little bit of the inside or outside zone run action from the O-line, but he recognizes that it's high hat, right? Like they're not firing off the ball and trying to get on them. They're still pass blocking. And then so he just recognizes that and then just kind of aborts his run assignments because he doesn't need to fill the B gap or the A gap anymore, right? Because it's a pass. And there's a nice little hump move to use this guard's momentum against him and ends up getting the win. Forces a 74 here to come help. This is just one of the clips I was talking about where when our linebacker is still on the logo, that's an easy cover 3 beater.
Yeah, good Lord.
But bit a little bit too hard on the play action. But I think if Jones here is working for depth and maybe closer to where Jalen Smith is, and makes Mac Jones hold on to that ball for an extra half second, that might be a sack.
Yeah, that's a good move, man. That's a good move.
This next one is going to be another nice read, another nice adjustment. This is the clip I was talking to you about from the cover 3 perspective with JT Woods. Like he just kind of bails. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can see it up top here with Sam Webb. This just to get on a little bit of a side note here, just the type of coverage they were playing to show you guys. Just quick to bail. But anyway, going back to Pegues here, lined up on looks like it's a 2-eye technique over the guard. Again, apologies for NFL Pro failing me. But what I liked about this one too is you'll see like the guard goes to try and quick set him and tries to get on him as soon as he can. And he just adjusts right out of his stance, plays the hands, and then wins around the edge. Again,
that's nice.
Ball is out pretty much as soon as Carter Bradley's back foot hits the ground. Yeah. So he doesn't get a pressure or anything out of it. Or I don't even think this one counts as a pressure. But what I like to see is a quick win and a nice little use of hands to beat that guard.
Yeah, my bad. Keep going, man.
I was going to say, and a good adjustment to the quick set.
I said it reminds me of that tweet he had where he won that 101. And the guy's like, who won that rep? There you go. It is live. He won. There it is.
The other thing they started doing to him, this was more later in the game, is they started having him do like these stunts or like line games. And I think someone is supposed to loop around. I don't know if it's supposed to be 68 or 43 Barrett, but the way he kind of attacks this, one, what I like is he gets to square to capture this guard's attention, and then he goes to attack the center, which is part of the reason why I think they're supposed to have a twist or something going on here. Even so, like if you watch this with him taking the guard's attention and then taking the guard with him right there, what that does is with Darnay Holmes blitzing off the edge, that takes that guard's eyes. Like you can see he's locked in on Pegues, so he doesn't even see this nickel coming off the edge. This is actually a hell of a block by the running back here to come off the linebacker and go pick up the nickel. But because we have our defensive tackle occupying the guard right here, this nickel ends up being a free rusher. Darnay Holmes being a free rusher. He just jumps like a moron. And cut. But on top of it, what Pegues does is like, again, they don't quite get the exchange here. I think he was looking for 68 to loop around. He attacks the center, and he realizes, all right, we got no one coming on the other side. So now let me just go fight back into the guard. And because he does that, now Barrett's free, and Barrett can come clean it up for the sack.
Nice.
I think he technically might have gotten credit for a half sack on this one. I don't know. I mean, I love it because he does like kind of make this play happen, but I'd have a hard time giving him the credit for the actual sack on that one. But
yeah, I don't think he get the sack, but he made the sack for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is another one. This one's a nice little TE stunt. What I like about this is it's subtle, but what I want you to watch is like how he kind of comes off the ball, and then he's going to subtly just start attacking the tackle. Like he's initially going to start sell or disguise the stunt by working up the field. And then at that last second right here, switches to the tackle. And he's going to attach that tackle off guard and ends up getting a win. Again, balls out too quickly for him to get the sack here. But because he sells it so well, he actually sets this up for himself and is physical. He ends up getting a win. Also got a nice little game going on this side too with Jaw Joyner. I think he gets some help. It looks like the guard gets stepped on, but even so, force that ball out and then Holmes is beat, but we get the drop anyway, so who cares?
That's coaching, though, right? I mean, basically, you would say that like that's kind of like Rob Leonard kind of implementing that type of stuff, right? To teach them to come up field and
for sure, because you know who else does this really well? Adam Butler.
Yeah,
but that's coaching, and that's I'd imagine too. He's probably getting this from Butler because that's what Butler's specialty is right there, especially his first year with the Raiders. All right, moving on to Eichenberg. Going to show you a couple of things where I think he has some improvement. To be honest with you, this first clip was a little bit better than when I first realized it when I first watched it, because I do think he's right to fit on the inside of this fullback right here, and he does a good job of beating this guard. Get some help from Tyree here. But one thing that like kind of struck me back to this as being 2024 Eichenberg, and we'll see the difference between a few other reps, is he doesn't do a great job of taking on the block. Like he's pretty high, kind of like is late with his hands. So he ends up chest to chest with this guy, and that's why he doesn't end up making this tackle. And I will say again, it's not his run responsibility. He'll back this up. This is actually on Chris Smith. Chris Smith should see this and try and beat that receiver or this corner down here, but nobody fills the alley, which is the bigger problem. But from Eichenberg's perspective, I like that he's being physical, but I think this is going back to last season where I like to see him be a little bit less like just I want to take it to this guy and more like strategic about it, if you will, where if he's a little bit more under control and does a better job of getting extension on his block, he might be able to get off cleaner and make that tackle versus having to go with just the arm tackle attempt right here. But again, it's more nitpicky by me, to be honest with you. And he did a much better job of it later. We'll see here. This one's going to be on the goal line. If you remember the touchdown, I think his feet slipped on this one. Like if you look, like he just kind of like goes to break down and like loses his footing, which is part of the problem. But this is a situation where like I'd almost rather just see him just go full speed right here and just go for the tackle because he tries to break down. But this situation, you know, you're on the 1 yard line. If you miss, it's the same thing as if you make contact and he ends up getting the yard after contact. It's still a touchdown. So I'd almost rather just see him be a little bit more aggressive and just try and like basically take this guy's head off and and try and get the stop and get the running back's momentum going backwards versus stopping and then again looks like his outside foot kind of gives out there, and they end up getting the touchdown. Not that big of a deal, but just a little thing.
Yeah.
A few reps here, though, him doing pretty well against the run. This is what I'm talking about where I was getting excited about him taking out blocks. Like, compare this to the one I showed you guys just a couple minutes ago. Like, look how much better, look how much faster he gets his hands up, right? Like, we can see it right here. Like, here's the offensive lineman winding up, and he just gets he's already got his hands on his chest. Much better pad level, got his helmet underneath. And you can see, he stops that lineman in the tracks. And on top of it, that's his arm right there. He's getting extension. Now, on this play specifically, I don't think he impacts the play that much. He does kind of muddy up the picture here for the running back in the middle of the line. But those are the kind of things that'll pay off later. And on top of it, ends up getting off the block with that pile coming in on the guard there. So much better job taking on the block.
Man, what does Matt Jones do besides throw a punch that he did in that last play? I don't know. You see what he throws his punch? What is that about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that why he's an enforcer? Because I don't know. I've been watching this film. He's been in this whole film, but he hasn't done a damn thing. Except punch the dude to the ground like that. Anyways, keep going.
Punch and bite on play action, but either way. Now this one, even better improvement from the last one. I mean, it was pretty similar to that first clip I showed you guys. But you can tell, again, just much better job of using his hands, being quick with his hands, and we'll see the pad level on the other side. And this time, he's able to get extension and get off the block and make the tackle on second down to give us a chance to get off the field on third down here. You'll see it here. Boom, much better. You can see that.
That's perfect, actually. I mean,
and that tight end does a decent job of trying to get low too. But Eichenberg, the deciding factor too is one, Eichenberg does a good job getting some knee bend here and getting low, but his hands are up, right?
Yeah.
We got the tight end's hands down here. He's already got the hands on the chest. Boom, get some extension and get off the block. Go and make that tackle. Nice rep by 90 here too, set the edge. Let's see, trying to see what happened to Pegues here. Yeah, decent job holding his own. He kind of frees up Eichenberg, but I don't know, Hemingway kind of
just pushed him here.
I know the Hemingway's pass rushes have made their rounds, but it was a rough one against the run for him.
So basically his film in South Carolina, cool.
Yeah, right. Basically. Next one, Eichenberg just going to be on a blitz here, and just times it up well. And ends up beating this crack block from the receiver and goes and make a tackle for a 1 yard gain. I mean, not much to this one other than well-timed blitz. Not even in the picture at this stage. You see, he just beats that receiver inside, comes flat down the line, and ends up making the tackle from the backside. It's well done. Well done.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
All right, this first rep's going to be the bad one in coverage. Going to look a lot like the Matt Jones one we saw earlier. Now he's pretty damn lucky, Mac Jones. I don't know why Mac Jones was had to be, I guess, his first read. I don't know why Mac Jones didn't find this the second drag route on this levels concept. But if he did, I mean, again, we're watching Eichenberg here. This time, he bought pretty hard on the play action fake, and if he's, if we're reading this right tackle. Even the guard, that's high hat. Yes, I know they're run blocking and it's a difficult read, but that's one where we got to recognize it a little bit faster and then sink and go help out Chris Smith, who also doesn't do a great job on this one of being tight to that drag route because that is wide open and might be a touchdown if Mac Jones had seen it. End up getting the first down anyway because Gainer's not in a great spot either.
I think that's Kuntz, actually.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, you're right. That is Kuntz. Yeah, who we don't want dropping in coverage anyway.
Yeah. Definitely looked pretty awkward. Looked like a defensive end dropping in coverage. All right, anyways, but keep going.
But yeah. Now, this is the frustrating thing. So this play actually happened before the one we saw earlier, and I guess maybe you could say the situation. But this time he does a perfect job playing the play action pass. Maybe it's a little bit different because it looks like Jones might be blitzing here. so he's just naturally staying back a little bit more. But this
Mm-hmm.
rep is perfect for his play action, right? He stays deep. Now it doesn't matter too much because Adams kind of forces that ball out either way on the blitz, no matter what. But even if, say, Adams wasn't there, say Adams like bit hard on the run fake or whatever,
Yeah.
even if Mac Jones wanted to, like this drag route's not open, right? We have someone to take care of it instead of a linebacker is sitting in there to stay deep in the zone. And then on top of it, now we rally to the football. And I mean, this is a great open field tackle. Go make a play in the flat and get a 1 yard gain out of that. That's perfect. Stay deep, help for anything coming across the field. And once we see the ball get checked down, now we converge on it, go make a tackle. Perfect rep. So a little bit of the Jekyll and the Hyde with him of playing play action.
Yeah.
This one, honestly, to me, is more of a neutral rep. The Niners end up gaining 7 on this, but this is a tough play call because the Raiders are going to be in the cover 6 look where he's on the quarter side, and you're going to get like a curl flat concept where this receiver from the outside is going to run the curl, tight end runs the flat. So it's basically like a pick route for them.
Yeah.
This is, again, another example of what I was talking about before. Them just bailing. The corner's just bailing. Again, so that's a tough cover for Tommy, for the linebacker or anyone. Like, you really got to have a ton of speed to get on the flat. Probably the only guy that can really do that well is the guy that's on the other sideline, Fred Warner. But again, so I'm okay with this one. You know, he makes a decent open field tackle. It's just more neutral. And to be honest, the fact he avoided the pick almost makes it a nice rep from him, just overall.
Yeah. This is just fancy sticks concept. Shanahan makes the same concept just look real fancy.
Exactly. This next one, honestly, I just love the hustle. Like, you'll see this, like he's blitzing on this, on this play call, and like balls out again super quickly. And at this page, I think it'd be easy right now to be like, all right, kind of give up on the play. Darian Porter's got this, and going to end up being a first down anyway. But as you can see, Porter struggles to end up making the tackle, and Eichenberg just does a great job of running over and hustling and making help. Ends up tackling both guys. So, not a huge impact play, but I love the hustle. Love that. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
You know, I know you got to add a pure hustle play in there, man. I know that's why it might make the team. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Be Carroll guy.
Exactly.
Last play here. Again, this is a great read against the screen. Like, you'll see once he recognizes that this receiver is getting depth into the backfield. You see right now he's already crashing onto it, and that helps him beat the tight ends block. And it looks like the 49ers have a miscommunication here where the receiver is going to come out to block him too. And he's just a great job of taking on both guys and then kind of just muddying that look, because ideally his receiver would work off that block and kind of just get up the field as soon as he can. But because Eichenberg's kind of holding up the point right there, that allows Sam Webb enough time to be able to get there and get the stop. Like, you can see the receiver will let this play full speed. He's kind of got to read it for a second instead of just being able to hit it downhill. And that's because our linebacker is doing a great job of winning at the point here and holding his ground, even with 2 guys coming to block him. So, yeah. Good day overall for Eichenberg. I don't know if I give him like say he was like, what was it, 4th best defensive player in the field.
Yeah.
But, for the most part, like, he played a fairly clean game. You know, a few things here and there that he can change and do better, as I pointed out. But yeah, definitely saw some growth. I think him taking on blocks was probably the most encouraging thing that we saw. You know, had the 1 rep that he went a little bit back to his rookie form, but definitely showed some growth. I think showed more growth than, you know, stagnant play for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Because, you know, it's interesting. That's why I like film, just because, you know, just the narrative probably around him is that he didn't play well. But he looked like he had some really good reps in there, and it looked like that he could actually maybe, you know, play linebacker and you not feel terrible about him being out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But he did get got a lot of reps out there. I mean, they probably really set who their starting linebackers are at this point, probably pretty much. I mean, you see Roberts, Pratt, and White. I mean, that's pretty much the starters at this point.
Yeah.
You kind of feel that. I mean, you could really feel on this game who's the starters because those guys all came out at the same time. And you know what I mean? So I mean, that's kind of who the starting linebackers are going to be, and Eichenberg can definitely feel like he could definitely be a depth guy at this point. Where last year you felt kind of nervous. I mean, you were excited about it the first time he played, but after that you didn't want him out there. But this year you might feel a little bit better about it. So I think he even had a better preseason this year than he did last year.
Well, yeah, he didn't play at all. If you remember, he got hurt in the beginning of training camp.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, the one game he was out there was that Broncos game, and it was rough.
Yeah, and then Pegues, man, he looked like he did at Ole Miss rushing the passer. So I think that is where he can really solidify himself is if he's like that type of nose tackle that can get pressure on first and second down. That's what you need. I mean, that's what kind of changes everything for you as a defensive line. If you can get some pressure from when you're in those oversets and you can get some pressure from Pegues, man, that's really going to help you out.
Yeah, and on top of it, I mean, against the run, he's looking pretty damn stout right so far. So I'm excited what I've seen from him. He probably might be of the obviously Jeanty's mixed in there too, but of the rookies that have really played a lot in the preseason, he's probably been the most impressive guy for me so far of this year's draft class. I've been really excited with what I've seen with Pegues in the last 2
years. Yeah, me too, man. I'm really excited to see that, and it definitely looks like a steal. A 6th-round pick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had him graded higher than that, right?
Yeah, I had him as a 5th, so a round higher. But yeah, I think it was a high 5th, so that makes a difference. But
yeah. All right. All right. So let's get this offense here. All right. Am I up, Matt?
Yeah, you are.
All right, cool. All right. So start off with Ashton Jeanty here. Get into the run game. So this one I'm talking about. Just sticking to power here because it's definitely a power run. You kind of see the trap here from Michael Mayer here, and then Glaze getting outside to the defensive end, right? And what I really like about this run right here is just the jump cut, right? You were worried about the jump cuts, when I was being nitpicky, and during the draft season here, you really see a nice jump cut here. And it's a great block from JPJ. You see JPJ get a great block right here. Definitely gets right under the guy, moves him. Nice little, gets good movement there. Meredith misses his block, though. And it kind of stopped this from being an even bigger play. Because, somebody's talking about Colton Miller. Somebody said online that Colton Miller misses block. But if Meredith makes his block, I mean, he's not going here, right? I mean, he's probably going to go around Meredith, but it still ended up being a good run, and he still ended up making that guy miss. You can see it right here.
Yeah,
he makes Nick Martin there miss right there, right in the right, get skinny and that little making people miss in what is it, tight windows or something? Is that the word I'm looking for here?
Yeah,
tight spaces.
Tight space. Phone booth.
Phone booth. There we go. In the phone booth, there's a phone booth movement. That's the word I'm looking for here, man. But yeah, but look at Parham. Parham got good blocks. Is good for most of the offensive line, but I think Meredith kind of just overran this guy here a little bit too. Yeah. He didn't get square. Yeah, he got to control. Didn't get square. All right, next run here. Now this one, I'm talking about him just getting full speed. You can kind of just see the true speed there, and him just bringing the pain. And this is just pure hat in a hat.
Yeah,
offensive line play. This is not nothing fancy, guys. This is some Vince Lombardi stuff. It's like Vince Lombardi
dive in Madden,
right? Because like I said, it was power week, but I think they get it. You can see the offensive line did a good job. Even JPJ here, I think JPJ gets a little off balance here, and you can maybe if they're getting nitpicky and they want the Raiders not to win, they're gonna call this holding. But I thought he recovered pretty well there. You see good blocks from Meredith. I think Parham could have got a little bit more inside here, but I think he was waiting on 48. I think he expected 48 to, because he's lined up on the line here. I think he expected 48 to come back, basically come straight ahead.
Yeah,
and he went backwards, kind of like he was doing like a little ghost stunt type of thing.
Yeah, this is like the 3rd and 6th play, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's not really a draw because that's what I was thinking. Like, it kind of looks, but it's just pure power football here. And that's what I love about it, because this is what Jeanty does best, is just get downhill. You can see how fast he is. Just you can see the speed right there. Boom. And that dude is definitely feeling that on Sunday. All right. Next one here. All right. So in this one, you get a little inside zone here. Now, what's that real quick there? Now, kind of Glaze doesn't reach on this. He doesn't get the reach on here, right? But you do see some good blocks. I mean, Parham was just big and fat and moving. So I was like, man, all right. He's just fat and making great blocks with that awesome technique, and now he's fat now. It looks great, guys. All right, and then but I mean, this one's kind of on Glaze, but you can I still like his patience here. I like how he reads it, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of see the nice little jump cut there.
Yeah, this is a take what you can get.
Yeah, exactly. And then Glaze, because I mean, it's really on Glaze here on the reach block. You can make the case maybe JPJ could help him a little bit more, but he's got to get to 48, right? So,
I mean, Glaze had him. He just didn't get his hips around.
Yeah.
Like JPJ turns those shoulders. Glaze just got to finish.
Yeah, it's true. All right. So I wanted to show this run from this angle first, because this is some great blocks from Donte Thornton and Trey Tucker. This is why they're playing football, is these blocks right here. I just wanted to start with that. That's why these guys are starters. Is this right here, right? And of course is Jeanty making this dude pay, making Lenoir. He got his welcome to the NFL, and then Jeanty told Lenoir that I'm here in the NFL. That's the best way to see what this happened here. But we'll get into the run here. Some more inside zone here.
Nice block by Meredith.
Yeah, great block by Meredith. And that's what I'm talking about. When you see the inside zone, when you see him run inside zone, you really get, I mean, because it is kind of a downhill run still, right? There is a little bit more reading, but you could see his patience, his ability to accelerate, which is what I really like on this run, right? Because you see here, he's patient. He allows Meredith to get his block, which is a great block by Meredith, right? Allows Meredith to get his block there. And then great block by Parham too on 53. Gets on 53 right there. Tell you, look at just fat and movement. Just look at that. He's just fat and he's fat and moving. And then JPJ trips. Somebody said that he kind of got knocked over. Now he tripped right here, right, trying to get up to 48. But he does a good job and just knocking Tucker into him. So it just worked. It worked out, and that's why you got Jeanty up in space. And Lenoir, I mean, I love it, man, but like my dad said when we were watching this, and he was telling my little nephew, he's like, you got to bring it to Jeanty here. So he's telling my nephew.
Can't wait for him.
Can't wait for him. Or this happens. But this is a great run, though. I really, this shows a lot, because, like I said, it's his patience, acceleration, and vision.
Demeter Labradors, man. It's like, man, I got my fucking money. What am I doing out here? It's the goddamn preseason. I got paid. I'm not supposed to be playing in these games.
All right, here's a run I was talking about earlier in the show. You can see Nick Martin here, right, doing some long trap here, and Jeanty's supposed to hit this hole right here. I mean, he's not supposed to go outside. You're not supposed to take it outside. That's what Josh McDaniels used to cry about Josh Jacobs all the time. But you can see Nick Martin. He was ready just to meet him in that hole, right? But Jeanty sees it before he even gets there and gets outside. It's still a great tackle by Martin there, but that could have been 1 yard. He got it into like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And you see a little bit better here on the long trap here. That's why you see Michael Mayer kind of do a little fake. Mayer's good with this little trap fake, man. He was doing it well. Yeah, get him going there. Boom, right, set him up right by JPJ. And it's a good block by JPJ too, in my opinion. I think maybe because if Nick Martin is not reading this, you can see the hole open up, and you can see where this guy he can't make the tackle. Colt Miller has a great down block right there on 58, right? since Nick Martin read it so well, though, being on the side, you could just watch Jeanty's his eyes. You can see,
Yeah.
give me back a little bit. I don't know if you saw him, Matt. You can see his. Come on, you see Jeanty's. He's looking right at Nick Martin, right?
Yeah.
He's watching him, and he sees Martin start to move. He's like, okay, I got to get outside this then, so I could beat Nick Martin. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty damn good running back play.
I think that's D. Yeah. I think that's D Winters, but yeah, I know what you're saying. 50,
Oh, it is D Winters. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, 48's Martin, but yeah.
Sorry, D Winters.
You're
My
good.
bad.
But yeah, that's a nice read.
All right, this one is at the goal line here, which is pure power football. Now, this one I wanted him to be a little bit more patient on this one because I feel like we're getting some pretty good blocks here, right? And not maybe great blocks where he could win in just basically because Bowers is losing,
Yeah.
right? But if he's patient, and this is at the goal line, it's just him in 27, and I think he can either outrun 27 or break that tackle. And I really trust him to be able to not have 27 tackle him one-on-one, and he kind of just runs into it. And I thought he could be a little bit more patient here and kind of read it a little bit better. But he's just coming straight downhill. But I still think the patience in the red zone is important. I mean, and that's why, like, LaDainian Tomlinson, those guys score so many touchdowns because they have this ability to be patient and not just run straight forward. And he kind of just runs into Bowers here, right? And you could say these guys aren't getting too much push, in my opinion, but still, if you read it, everybody's crashing inside. If he's patient, he can kind of get out here. But
yeah, I think he kind of fell in love with what he saw pre-snap. Like, you look pre-snap, like it's right there. It's going to hit right there off of like there Munford's ass.
yeah,
But because, like you said, but Bowers doesn't get that block clean. Like, you see, he's looking for it right now, and
yeah,
it didn't like was coming too far downhill to be able to adjust.
yeah. He's pre-snap reading the field, Matt. Is that what you're saying? Is that what he's
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the pre-snap read, but I'm like, make it. People are gonna think I'm talking about the passing game.
You get your running back doing pre-snap reset, but this time he kind of does it this time. So he gets, I mean, kind of this is the same exact run play, right? Same exact look. You can see him get out. That's what I'm talking about. See, and then he did it the second time, and they scored a touchdown. Same look. Everybody's crashing inside. Patience, bounce, boom, score a touchdown.
Yeah, made the adjustment. I like it.
It's beautiful right there, man. All right. And, get a little pass blocking here. You got a little pass blocking here. Pick up the blitz. All right. Nice little block there. Good form, too. He's been practicing. He's ready. Look at him.
There we go.
All right, Ashton Jeanty.
I like
Pick up the blitz. What? Yeah, the hand placement and everything, man. Look, he got square. Look at him. He bends his knees. Got him. So we talk about these other running backs. I don't know how much they're going to play. I just don't know. How much are they really going to play? It's just like a cool conversation, but those guys aren't playing that much. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
All right, and then here's with the little check down here on this one. I thought this one's interesting. I'm gonna be a little. I'm gonna get on Geno Smith here because this is a great. I'm just talking about Trey Tucker here. I'm gonna talk about this is a great route. Look at Trey Tucker get clean and flat there. I was like, okay, all right, here we go.
Yeah, I think the pressure started to come.
Yeah, I think he could have went there.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Boom! If he throws it right there, he's wide open. Right. That's a big play. But I mean, there's a lot of room here for Jeanty too. So you make sense why they get the chuck down. He couldn't get all on it though. He couldn't get enough on it because Glaze is basically being on his back. But that's when Jeanty brought the pain there. Boom.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was looking to run somebody over in this game, or a few people over in this game.
Yeah, man. Because to be honest, he could have went outside here. Let's keep it real. I think he could have, got outside a little bit. At least 57, you have a better chance. He's like 48 must have said something to him in the hole earlier because he goes right at 48. Look, like he must have said something to him earlier. I don't know what happened here. I don't know if they know
Taking
each
away
other.
actually profiling the white linebacker and telling him he should have gone after him in space.
It's just athleticism, man. So
If we're picking between one or two options, I do have to agree with you.
All right. So check out some Donte Thornton here. So we started with him. He got a couple targets here, and then we get to Jack Bech. Now, I really like this release if it was a post. That's what I'm gonna say. I like this release if it's a post because we're gonna watch him on the other throw because I mean he gets square here. He gets this guy does a great jab step here, and he gets inside right. So get a little step, straight speed right there, and if he's running like a post route or something, or he's gone. But he has got to get back to these numbers, right? Because that's where Geno's gonna throw this ball, and he kind of he takes a little bit too long there, so he doesn't get to where Geno wants to place his football. So you could say, sure, Geno missed him, but it's a little bit of him having to get back to the landmark too as well.
Also, like I talked about this after the game, like he starts looking for the ball at like the 30.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't even like technically cleared the cornerback all the way yet.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'd like to see him just keep his head down and run for like another 5-10 yards instead of looking back already.
Yeah.
It slows him down.
The back shoulder from the week before got him freaked out, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. He's definitely not hiding it. You know what I mean? He's not hiding it at all.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm running a go route.
Yeah. Like you can tell, like that's not him full speed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because if he puts his head down, man, oh yeah, he makes that landmark for sure. All right. Now here he is at the bottom again here. Now on this one, I mean, he doesn't get square on his release, so it kind of gets real funky here, and he tries to get outside, right? Because he never gets square here. He never gets to the point where he's getting square, where he's trying to size this guy up. He's kind of just shuffling his feet a lot, and he's not really doing anything. So Lenore, who's just got paid, like Matt said, he's just gonna stay square himself. He's like, okay, and then you can't run past him, and he's gets pushed up the sidelines here. And Geno, this is the play where I was like, are they just practicing reps here? Because I was like, Geno, you just got to shuffle hit Michael Mayer for a touchdown. Oh man,
yeah.
So those are a couple reps from Thornton. Like I said, it's just small things with him that he needs to get better. But he's gonna play because he blocks. We always saw that, so he's playing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna play. All right, so here's some Jack Bech. Now, I mean, somebody told me like this was nothing special about this route on Twitter. I was like, man, why are you guys such haters, man? But so yeah, it does look like a normal, simple release here, and right to I guess the average person. But what I liked about this release, right? Because I mean, you're getting a drag, okay? So when you see it, is like Bech could have got flat already. He could have just been flat right here. What I liked is that I think he knows that he's not the fastest guy in the world, and I could tell when he's running routes because he gets that guy upfield here, right?
Yeah.
Running at an angle, and then boom, right there, and then he has tons of separation here. And this is just a speed release, man. It's not really he's not doing anything funky, but it's the way that he's running the route, and even where his eyes are, right? His eyes look like he's running some kind of post route. Boom, and it gets his eyes around there. It's wide open.
Yeah. Just the way he like manipulates the defender with his shoulders. Like I think it's funny what you're talking about with his eyes. Like right now he's pointed like towards, I guess like a 45-degree angle towards the sideline, and then once he gets to the 50, he snaps around almost like he's running in China route.
It's nice.
Keeps the corner from being able to jump or undercut that drag route.
Yeah. Because we'll see how it goes later on the season. But I mean, with the way he's running routes, the way he gets open, he might start getting into Thornton's snaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a great route right there. All right, here's another one. He's running kind of some unders here, an under route. He's here at the top here, which what I like about this one is kind of just like the hesitation there, and then getting open right there. Of course, Mumford and what is that, Mahdi or something like that? I
Mafi,
forgot.
Antonio.
Mafi, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They didn't pick up that stunt very well, but I
Cut.
mean, yeah. Go ahead.
I just said cut.
Exactly. But if you watch him, just like the late release, kind of just selling like he's blocking here, and then like kind of selling like he's blocking, then boom, right there, he's open.
Yeah.
Right. Um, Also, this blitz, I didn't like how O'Connor read this because I'm like they're blitzing from this side, and then you're trying to get to Ian Thomas here on this. Like, I mean, I guess I don't think Ian Thomas is. That's not what he's here for. All right, so here's another one, which is this is an interesting route concept because you can see Bachman and Bech. They're gonna kind of run like curls, but they're gonna try to get back outside too. You can really see it from Bachman. Kind of really says what I'm talking about. You see Bachman, he's coming back outside, coming right back inside right there too. But what I like about this is one, it's a good release, right? Good release there, right? Good stem, and then he gets to the top of his route. He still looks like he's kind of running a go, and he kind of is able to sink his hips right there.
Yeah.
You can see like a little bit of flexibility there too. Boom, and you get that late separation.
Yeah. That's
Good
not a
bro.
bad rep by the corner either. He just a better route.
Yeah,
Just,
I mean this. Go ahead, Matt.
I should say he just hits the brakes real well.
Yeah, and he's physical too. You see him kind of give a little push off there.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might be out there pretty quickly, in my opinion. And this is just talk about showing Kayla Rogers, what we talked about the previous week before.
Yeah.
Exactly that right here. He's getting pushed right back. And this is where we all thought O'Connell was like, oh man, he might win that job. And then he just threw that, the worst pick in the world.
Yeah, that was brutal.
All right. But yeah, so that's Ashton Jeanty, I thought looked really well, played really well. Definitely saw everything you really like from him, and definitely showed me that they should run a lot of power and you know, keep the inside zone going. I believe that too, but they did a better job that this week with the inside zone. But you could just see all the talent there. Everything we saw on film from him, I really like the pace that he runs at. You know, you really don't get to see how fast he is until he's in the open field. And everything's just kind of patient way he sees things. And then you talk about how he adjusted to the run. Just one play after that, and like making pre-snap reads as a running back. You know what I'm saying? All these things that he's doing. You can tell us the talent is really going to show itself. I think this year at times there's going to be some times where he just dominates out there, and even to the point where he might struggle in the first half or something, and then like end the game with some big gains because he's just wearing people out. So we'll see how he handles it. But you know, I thought Donte Thornton Jr. still needs some work though, and it's going to get interesting because Jack Bech is. I feel like he's more ready to play.
Yeah.
Right. And he's more ready to go. There's not much to work on. You see that there's more savviness. He finds ways to get open. And you know, we saw at the Senior Bowl too. I mean, he was working corners at the Senior Bowl too. I mean, he's where he kind of a little bit made a bigger name for himself. Was there. So it's gonna be interesting to see how those guys kind of fit into this offense. And if you start to see Bech start to creep into Thornton Jr.'s snaps, if Thornton Jr. is not, you know, getting it done the first couple of weeks. I mean, that's gonna be a quick change, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. It's funny because we've always talked about like that was what's so interesting about Thornton, like starting and being the starter from basically since OTAs. But I feel like we're starting to see a little bit more of like Bech being a better overall receiver and like why he might start taking those snaps. And I think that's probably part of the reason why we've heard a lot more about him working on the outside. Whereas it was, if I remember correctly from the spring, it was like pretty much he was Jacoby Myers back up in the slot for the most
Yeah,
part. So yeah, I can see where you're at. I think the thing with Thornton is he just has that speed that kind of like brings an extra element to the offense. But again, if he's not doing the little things right and you know turning his head way too early and looking for the ball too soon, then that's going to negate some his like biggest competitive advantage and what he can bring. So would not be surprised if Bech starts to overtake that because he did look a lot better in this past game. I don't remember what his stat line was, but it was
yeah,
a lot more productive than the one catch for like 5 yards that he had in Seattle. So
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean,
Go ahead, my bad.
I am curious. So, you think the O line's better blocking in the gap scheme? Like they just look more comfortable there
Yeah,
overall.
yeah, I agree. I think they just look way more comfortable there. Just running a long trap, getting physical, and Miller is the down block king. So if you could just make him just do down blocks, and he's doing that, they're gonna be moving some people. And this could be pretty special for them. I forgot to put one play in here with Jack Best, his drop, which was a pretty good route too. I forgot to put that play in there, but he kind of won late in that route too. But and it was a tough catch. But
Gotcha.
usually see him kind of bring that down. But yeah, I thought Best played really well too, and it's good to eat into the snaps. But I thought the offensive line kind of could solve the first team offensive line. This week they look really good. I hope that everybody stop freaking out now. Everybody. The freak out is over.
Yeah, I hear you. It was getting bad over there, but I think saw a lot better success in this last week.
Yeah. Glaze needs some work, but it is what it is with that. All right, any last thoughts, Matt, before we get out of here?
Not really, man. I feel like we touched it all. Got almost an hour here.
Yeah, man. We're out of here, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. We got one more preseason game on Saturday. They're going to be here in Arizona. At mine,
You going?
I don't know. Third preseason game. Panda Subs might have some tickets, but I don't know. I'm still trying to decide that, man. Do I really want to go to?
I went. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago now when they had that might have even been fourth preseason game when they're still doing 4. No, it was the third. It was just 3, but whatever. It was the last one when it was in San Francisco, and it was some rough football. 49ers played all their starters, and the Gruden sat half the team. It was awesome.
Yeah, because it just gets to the third quarter. It's just like, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more when we go live. I feel like last year for the third preseason game, we went live at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I think so.
Yeah. When you start getting into those guys in the fourth quarter, you take note of who's on the field because that's probably the guys that aren't making the team.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, bro. We're out of here, guys. Subscribe. Peace.